room are well aware of the trends that are impacting restaurant industry today. We know it's health, personalization, choice, convenience, all those things. But not all those trends Okay, so as I was saying, all of us are aware of the trends that are impacting restaurant industry today. For example, health, convenience, choice, personalization. But not all those trends impact Saudi Arabia the same way they impact the rest of the world. And many of those events or trends might not even be true. For example, there is this notion that people have less time today than they ever had before because of their busy lifestyles, because they are stuck up at home working through weekends. Well, Mingora has looked into 80 years data, back data, to conclusively prove that this is not the case. As you can see from this chart, that the number of hours in the day have not changed. In fact, we are actually predicting 2030 to have the same number of hours with a 95% confidence interval. What I'm trying to say is that there is a difference between data and insight. All our insights are gathered from two global reports that we do in this region. The first one is called the Food Panel. The Food Panel is a restaurant and food service shopper behavior and market sizing research. We will be covering around 60,000 consumers this year across UAE and Saudi Arabia. Globally, this report is called CREST, and it happens every day in markets like US, Canada, mainland Europe, UK, China, Korea, Australia. The other data set that we'll be using for this particular presentation is called Sales Track. Sales Track is a weekly tracking tool where restaurants or participating chains put in their data, and every week they get reports telling them where they are versus where the market is. In this region, in UAE and Saudi Arabia, we're covering 1,500 stores, about 35 odd chains, many more are joining. Globally, 120,000 restaurants pour data into Sales Track. So we'll be using these two data sets to answer essentially two questions. So our agenda for today is just answering two questions. First question is, what are the global trends on growth in our sector, and where does Saudi Arabia stand? And the second question is close to my heart: why does Saudi Arabia, its restaurant sector, why does it matter? Let's answer the first question now. So, like any other industry, we are still comparing our industry to the last known year when there was normalcy and no COVID, which was 2019. And as you can see from the data here, the market is still down globally. Of the 16 odd markets that we track, the markets are still down 11%, which means that the global recovery has not happened. This is 2021 versus 2019. Visits are down 14% globally. Visits means occasions. So you could say 1/7 of the industry is still not back to where it used to be, let alone growth. Check is up 4%, but check is not just a matter of inflation. It has other factors as well, because consumers have temporarily changed their eating patterns, which I will talk about in a minute. Where does Saudi Arabia stand in this chart? Saudi Arabia is at minus 13% currently, close to the average. There are some markets that are doing significantly worse. There are only two markets we track that are actually positive. One of them is US at +3, and the other one is UAE at +1. This is 2021 versus 2019. 2022 is obviously, I will cover 2022 in a bit later. Now the next chart will explain why Saudi Arabia full sales recovery has not happened yet. This is, in marketing terms, this chart is called need states or drivers, or you may call jobs that consumers want restaurants to do for them, or motivations. So this is a chart of why people eat out or order in. And as you can see, the pillar on which the Saudi society is based, which is social connections, is still strong. The top two need states, why people want to eat out or order in, are eat as a family or socialize with friends. This is still strong. It was strong through COVID, and it's still strong now. The trouble is on the right side of the chart, left side of this behind me, which is some of the occasions are not yet back. You will see that travel is small, holidays and events is small, school and university meals are not yet back, or at least not yet back in 2021. Shopping trips were low. So all those things, once those occasions are back, Saudi Arabia will be back to positives. But Mingora, just looking at all our data, we are optimistic on Saudi Arabia. Maybe in the short term there are bumps, but if you are a betting long person or a betting medium term person, Saudi Arabia is the market to be for many reasons. The first one is that it's already a developed market and we don't even know the ceiling. 160 visits per capita puts Saudi Arabia in the middle of Western European markets, which are very much used to eating out all the time. It is well above markets like Brazil and Russia, which are places where there is a lot of cooking at home, lower incomes. It's behind markets like South Korea and Japan because those are culturally different markets, lots of small meals eaten out, not a lot of cooking at home. But it's very well placed in the middle of the top Western European markets. I don't know about Italy, something to do with coffee, a lot of coffee outside. It's also a very sizable market. I've put the top 6 markets in Europe, and Saudi Arabia places just below Spain, and it hasn't yet crushed its ceiling at 22 billion euros. It is more than twice the size of UAE and more than 3 times the size of Russia. So a market well worth spending time in and investing in. It's also a massively entrepreneurial market. In the GCC, when we cover the GCC sector, we see American and European chains basically dominating most of the GCC markets. In Saudi Arabia, 14 of the 25 top chains are Saudi origin. And it's not just fast food, it's fast casual, it's coffee, it's casual dining, it's even traditional chains. All of them, there is a massive entrepreneurial drive in this market, which is reason alone to be optimistic or bullish on the market. It's also an all-day parts market. In 2019, when we did the survey, our first food panel, we found that Saudi Arabia was like, there was no big day part. It was active all through the day. Breakfast was very strong, lunch was good, dinner was great, but even the middle day parts like mid-morning, evening, or late night, all of them were very, very strong. We contrasted it with Europe, which had massive lunch, massive dinner, but not a lot in between. So it tells us that it is a market that is out and about all the time. The blue line the dotted line is 2019, and as you can see, not a lot of day part changes. In 2022, the latest chart that you see, you will see that some of the consumption has shifted to lunch and dinners because obviously all the occasions are not yet back. And when visits shift to lunches and dinners, you know that the check will be up because there will be a lot of people ordering, like families ordering when you're ordering from home, or at evening when you've got friends over. That's why check is high, but transactions are lower because some of the occasions are gone or not yet come back, like breakfast or evening snacks. The consumer has also evolved in Saudi Arabia. In 2019, when we did the survey, price was one of the biggest factors why people were the reasons to eat out were those. But now it is product and loyalty that are the top reasons for choosing a restaurant. So if you are a restaurant person, all you need to do is to focus on winning on product, winning on loyalty. Even if you tie on price and tie on location, you will be able to win in the marketplace. Saudi has also a very strong delivery infrastructure, 2.5 times more occasions delivered than in Europe. In fact, this region is far ahead of most of the regions in the world in terms of delivery. We have been delivering food, and not just food, water, groceries, medicines, anything. We have been delivering for decades while the rest of the world is just catching on. And therefore, as you see a lot of consumption shifting towards home or off-premise occasions, you know that Saudi Arabia is ready to cater to those occasions in 30 minutes. So it's a market that is advanced. It is also advanced in terms of digital. Even in 2019, when we did the survey, we found that that 60% of the, 50%, I'm sorry, 61% of the market was digital, 39% was call center. Digital delivery is delivery that is through restaurants' own websites or their own apps. Now in 2022, telephone delivery has gone down to 20%, and digital is up to 80%, which is aggregators and digital delivery. I will, however, make the point that over a third of Saudis are still ordering through outside of aggregators. So if you are in a restaurant space, these top two things, telephone delivery and digital delivery, are the places to be in, because this is where the Saudis are. So to completely put your eggs in one basket and not put in another would be foolish. Finally, Saudi Arabian market loves its fast food. It is at 64% of all occasions by spend are fast food occasions. Very close to where US is at 74%. Europe is only at 46%. One of the evidences of how good Saudi Arabia, in fact, let me ask a question. We cover 10.4 billion servings a year through our food panel in Saudi market. Any guesses what is the highest selling food item? I've got a chocolate in my pocket to give away if anybody wants to guess. Pizza, chocolate.
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets, a very good guess. Pizza is a good guess. Come on, I need one more.
Burger.
You're looking at main courses. Let me explain. It is French fries. 600 million servings of French fries every year. So tremendous. In fact, if you look at the top three items, somebody said nuggets, so I'll give you half a chocolate. The top three items are cola, fries, and chicken nuggets. Essentially a combo, even if they are not sold together. But this tells you it's a very fast food oriented market. And it also tells you that if you are in Saudi Arabia, people are used to ordering in and eating out, because fast food is entry point to the restaurant industry. And they can upgrade to fast casual dining, and fine dining as well. Now, where is the market today? What 2022 looks like? A difficult start to 2022 for the market. Amongst the brands that we track on same-store basis, not system, which means it does not include new stores. Saudi Arabia has had a difficult start, negative quarter last quarter. In fact, since we have been tracking, and we've been tracking since 2018, we have tracked 17 quarters so far in Saudi Arabia. I think 4 have been positive. Most of the others have been negative or flat, which tells you that it is a market that was that had lower growth even before COVID as well, and COVID did not help. So it is a market that is in need of investment, need of help, need of support from everybody around. However, as long as market recovery continues, and as long as restaurants keep building, brands keep building stores, we expect 2022 to end on positive on system basis. At spends at 8%, visits at 4%, and check at 4%. So all in all, we see 2022, for all the reasons that I've said before, the kind of society that it is, entrepreneurship, the amount of all-day parts consumption, the advanced infrastructure, all tells us that Saudi market will bounce back as long as the market factors stay positive. So that is about it from me. You can reach out anytime on these contacts, and I don't think you're rid of me because I'm part of the